Would you consider yourself successful?
Success kasi depends on how you define success, right? Success depends on where you wanna measure it. For me, I would consider my biggest success story is nung pinramis ko sa parents ko, kasi I really see them, especially my mom, suffer. Sabi ko sa kanya, Mom, gagraduate lang ako, ayaw ko nang makita kang mamroblema ng pera. Don't let loyalty hinder your growth, either personally or professionally. Retrogression is temporary. And retrogression is something that you don't control. Hindi talaga siya kontrolado ng lawyers, the employers, and so on. All you think you can do is to start the application. Correct? Kasi malay mo, next month, wala nang retrogression.
Welcome to Linguist Access Podcast, where we all get together to learn more about inspiring stories behind every journey that will give you the courage to push past challenges and overcome obstacles, all for God's glory, with your host, Shalini Oritaves.
To make the whole story short, yung kaibigan ko na taga Seattle, may usapan kami doon na, hey, can I stay in your house, right? And then, ako na yung taga-luto, taga-linis, taga-tutor, taga-lahat. Kasi they have 3 kids, right? And of course, I was looking for, hindi pa naman bawal ang mag-apply nung time na yun. Then, I continue submitting my applications. And then, I found out through my own studies that the best way for me to find work in America is to apply through Nestle USA through the L1 visa. So, it's a multinational executive visa na inaral ko, and then nag-apply ko sa Nestle USA. So then, considering na ang in-applyan ko is the factory IE position which I held before, right? So when I applied, yung boss ko, and thank you Mark for hiring me, right? It's not even a question of tinanong niya pa ako kung anong credentials ko, anong experience ko, kasi our systems are the same. So kung anong system namin sa Nestle Philippines is also Nestle USA systems. It's just a matter of I actually spent hours talking to their HR, to my future boss at that time, and then only end up with the question of, by the way, ano yung visa mo? So nung nalaman nila na tourist visa ko, and that was in 2007, US is going through the recession at that time. So ang hirap mag-sponsor. Tama?
Yeah, exactly.
So all those conversations end up with saying, hey, sorry, we cannot petition you. Because I don't think the company is willing to spend so much money for something na hindi ka naman namin kilala, right? And that really destroyed my hopes. Kasi 3 weeks na yun from my arrival in the US. So, I was in Seattle and the opening is in Kentucky. So, sabi ko, Sir, di ba you are looking for an IE that thinks outside the box and that is very aggressive. So, here's my proposal. Why don't you invite me for a final interview, and if you find me worth the sponsorship, I'll go home to the Philippines and I'll process my visa there. Kasi alam ko naman kung paano yung sistema. No? So that's thinking outside the box, right? So sabi ng boss ko, well, that's something different. We'll invite you over for the final interview. So they had me for 2 days. Ulan na ulan yon, so basang-basa ako, parang sisil, naiwan yung luggage ko. So, kung ano yung suot ko the day before, yun doon yung suot ko pagdating ko sa factory. Okay? And then, nag-panel sila, and then ang question ng HR was, show to us how you will get your visa in 3 weeks because we cannot wait for you in 3 months. So then, sabi ko, give me a whiteboard. So, in-explain ko sa kanila, whiteboard. So, in the middle of my presentation, sabi na, okay, stop. You can just wait for us outside kasi they have to deliberate. So, yung first day ko is supposed to be for the panel interview. The second day is supposed to be for me to look for my housing if ever ma-hire ako. So, while waiting for them to deliberate, lumabas yung HR assistant. That's already about mga 3 o'clock na in the afternoon. Sabi nila na, hey, the team is asking if you're going to stay tomorrow for your housing. So, sinagot ko siya. Sabi ko, well, it depends, right? Kasi, if you're not going to hire me, then what's the point of me staying over? But if you're going to hire me, of course, I have to look for my house. Then sabi niya, ay, tama pala, no? So let me ask them. So pumasok siya ulit, and then 3 minutes later, sabi niya, well, congratulations, you're hired. So yun na yun. That was the start of my engineering pa rin yun. Kasi I cannot work as a lawyer in the US, right? So, bumalik ako. I got my visa in 3 weeks. Then I started working in Kentucky for, I think, 2 years and a half. And ang daming tumatawag sa akin para lumipat. But then I talked to my boss to say, Boss, I really have to express my loyalty to you kasi ikaw nagdala sa akin from Philippines to here. And I was really, at that time, green card holder na ako noon. My job as an industrial engineer is to identify and deliver $6 million savings every year. But during my time, 4 months pa lang, I already delivered 5 million. So I'm really way above of my target at that time, such that nung kinausap ko siya na, Sir, i-renew mo rin naman ang visa ko next year, why not start my green card application now on my 4th month? And then pumayag naman siya kasi of course I already delivered 5 million savings at that time. So nung 2 years and a half, green card holder na ako noon, permanent resident na ako. And then I was receiving calls all over the place. So sinabi ko sa boss ko. So sabi ko, boss, I just have to be very transparent na I am receiving all these temptations, right, to get out of Nestle USA. But I will not do that unless you will give me a permission. So sabi niya sa akin, Nick, thank you for your honesty, for expressing your loyalty to me and so on. But here's one advice for you. Don't let loyalty hinder your growth, either personally or professionally. So that's basically is an express, right? Parang permission na, yeah, go wherever you want to go. You deserve it, ang sabi niya. But ang sabi niya, if you can find opportunities within the Nestle USA network, mas gusto niyang makita na magamit ako sa ibang department kaysa umalis ako ng Nestle. Which is true. So then I got promoted. Nilipat ako sa head office in New Jersey. So nung nasa New Jersey na ako, I was invited by a Filipino group in Connecticut. And then, nung nalaman nilang abogado ako sa Philippines, they've been sharing with me na ganito yung sitwasyon ko and so on and so forth. And then, sabi ko, you know what? And this is the problem with Filipinos in the US, right? Either takot silang makipag-usap sa abogado because of the trust issues or takot silang magbayad kasi medyo may kamahalan din. No. So, nung sinasabi nila sa akin to, sabi ko, hey, you know what? If you only consulted with a lawyer at that time, no, you could have saved your status. Ibig sabihin, immigration status mo. And that really gave me the parang push na, hey, why don't you go pursue your legal profession? So then I inquired. Pagbalik ko, I inquired with the board sa New Jersey and they will not allow foreign lawyers to take the bar exam. So I conducted some research only to find out at that time na only California and New York will allow foreign lawyers to take the bar exam. So then I took the New York bar exam, right? So nag-self-study ako kasi I cannot afford to go to a review center personally. And luckily, I passed the New York bar in 2012 and then I started practicing as an immigration lawyer in August after my oath in 2012. And so talk about solo practitioner, yun yung solo practitioner. Ibig sabihin, ako yung taga-photocopy, ako taga-fill out, ako lahat yun. Right? And then, my extended office at the time was parang FedEx Kinko, right? Yun yung mga FedEx printing and so on. Every Saturday, Sunday, yun yung opisina ko. Okay? And then, I was just so happy at the time kasi while I'm doing this on a part-time basis when I started. Kasi hindi naman ibig sabihin pumasok ka ng abogado, you are parang hambugiro ka agad, no? Na, kaya ko to, right? Kasi you have to think about paano kung wala kang cases in a month, paano yung bills mo, and so on and so forth, right? Exactly. So, I stayed for another 5 years in Nestle USA. And then at the time, I was doing immigration law on the side. And then at that time din, medyo sumikat ako sa Facebook because I was able to, nagsimula ako sa family base, right? So halimbawa, spouse visa applications, the normal processing at the time is taking about 3 to 4 months. My shortest record is 12 days. I got the spouse visa approved, and then on average, my processing time is 1 month compared to the 4 months. And then my fiancé visa, which normally takes about 4 months, my earliest record was 11 days. And again, my average record is about 1 month. So, doon ako medyo nakilala on social media. Okay? And then, dumating na sa point na tatawagan ka na during your Nestle time eh. So ito yung work ethics mo na if somebody pays you from 9 to 6, then work for them, right? So kung may tatawag sa akin, I tell them, hey, call me after 6. Kasi yun lang yung pwede akong mag-entertain. And then dumadami na yung inquiries ko na tinatanong ako na, are you a part-time lawyer? So then that question confronted me na ayaw mo ring makilala na part-time lawyer ka. Right? But at that time, I already have about 10,000 followers on Facebook. So sabi ko, Lord, anito mama, ito talaga siya. Again, whenever I am confronted with major decisions, I always seek for guidance. No? So sabi ko, Lord, Amen. I think I already have good following on social media. I think I can take the risk of starting my solo practitioner. And I have a best friend from Ecuador na talagang naiinis siya, nakikita ako sa office every day. Kasi sinasabi niya sa akin na, Nick, I think you will excel outside more being a lawyer than staying here. You've done already 20 years as an industrial engineer. You've proven yourself. You had been recognized by the company and so on and so forth, right? But I think it's now start for you to really go and start on your own. Pinagdasal ko na sana matanggal ako sa Nestle USA. Right? Kasi, pag matanggal ka kasi, meron kang either one lump sum or meron kang i-break down nila into months, right? And siya, trust me, Nestle USA at the time was shaken, economically speaking. And then, they actually called us immediate because the California division of Nestle nag-o-offer na ng mga sinong tatanggalin and so on. So, it's not about my performance. I'm very assured my performance.
And that was timely.
Correct. I really prayed hard. Sabi ko, Lord, sana masama ako sa matanggal. Okay? Then, one day, pinatawag kami at 9 o'clock for an emergency meeting. And they were presenting the company performance and so on and so forth. And then the last 15 minutes, sabi nila, there will be some of you who will be called by HR today. And if you will be one of them, it's okay for you to not work today or ayaw niyang pumasok this day or this week. It's okay. Right? Kasi nasa mga 50 yung apektado daw. So, yung mga Amerikano parang marites din, di ba? Nag-uusap kami kung sino apektuhan.
Yeah, that's true.
Basta daw, ang rule is, pag nag-ring yung phone ng office mo, yun na yun. So, I remember, there are about 10 people in one small room kasi nag-uusap kami. Then, the room beside that room, nag-ring sa safety officer na ano yun, na room. Nag-ring, so para kaming mga langaw na bumalik doon sa rooms namin, right? Kasi ito na tinawag yung safety officer. As soon as I entered my room, the phone rang. So sabi ko, kasama ko doon. And yun yung reality na, di ba pinagdasal ko naman yun? Na dapat...
Amen.
Oo,
That's true. That was an answered prayer.
Right. Pero yung feeling na yun, nakakatakot yung ito na pala yun. Bukas wala ka ng work.
Yes.
Right? So, of course, the phone rang, I pick it up, and narinig ko was my boss saying, pumunta ka sa itong parang office na to. So, I went there, I saw the HR on my side, my boss in front of me, and then I sat down. And they were murmuring. Wala akong naintindihan sa sinasabi nila. And I think I need to share this kasi people who got fired maybe is going through the same experience. Kahit anong explanation ng HR ma'am at yung sinasabi ng boss, wala akong naintindihan. Ang sinabi lang, nung natapos na yung HR pagsasabi, ang sabi ko lang sa kanya is, how much? Then, ang sabi ng HR, Nick, there is no how much. Right? So sabi ko, then what does that mean to me? So, sinabi niya sa akin, we will going to consider your years of experience in the Philippines, which is 10 years, and also your years of experience in Nestle USA, which is another 10 years, so 20 years na yun. And then they gave me an offer of 3.75, tax-free on, right? And then 2 weeks equivalent for every year of service. So, ang nangyayari, para kang pinagtrabaho ng 1 year na hindi ka napapasok, but you get paid. Right? So, nung narinig ko yun lang narinig ko. And sabi ko, sir, you know what? This is the answer to my prayer. And then sabi ng HR, Nick, sa lahat na nakikita kong natanggal, ikaw lang yung nakangiti ngayon. Sabi ko, yeah, because I prayed for this. Right? So that's the start of. So lumipat ako from New Jersey to New York. And then, in January 2017. yung time na yon, doon din naman nag-viral yung story ko, no? And I just posted on Facebook kasi nagpagawa ako ng office sa Davao nung time na yon. And then, yung pamangkin ko, who is actually leading the construction, inaalipusta o minamaliit yung kanyang mga workers ng kapitbahay naming engineer. Na mga ganito lang kayo, wala kayong future, wala kayong ganito, ganyan. And then I just shared maybe this long story on my Facebook wall. So sabi ko na, I don't think being a successful person or having finished a degree gives us the platform na maliitin yung mga kasama natin, right? Kasi for me, for one, I was a banana queue vendor before, but now I am a practicing immigration lawyer in the US. So parang ganun lang yung story na yun. Paggising ko, there's already 10,000 shares of that post, and then kumalat na siya. And pinaghahanap na ako dito sa New York kasi who is Attorney Caraquel, right? Wala naman silang naririnig na Attorney Caraquel nung time na yon. So pinahanap ako ng Philippine Consulate, pinapunta ako doon, and then they get to know me more. And then that was the time of Trump. Medyo chaotic ang immigration environment nung time na yon. Then I get to be the spokesperson of immigration law updates sa Filipino community ng East Coast. So doon na-recognize yung contribution ko. And one of the reason din na nagkaroon ako ng Presidential Award in 2018 by President Duterte.
Yeah. I actually saw that. I watched that video and I just had goosebumps. You've achieved so much across multiple domains. Looking back, attorney, what advice would you give to someone who is actually maybe, especially for ito, I just want to be, more on it kasi timely yung situation eh. Iba naman to, pero medyo pareho ng konti. Nurses, graduated, work in the Philippines for 10 years. I'm talking about a friend of mine. Moved to Qatar, worked 5 years. Took the NCLEX 12 times. Just recently passed, and now it's retrogression. I mean, what are you going to say? Because when she asked me, like, anong gagawin ko sa buhay ko? 12 years ako nag-NCLEX, pumasa na ako. Ngayon, sarado. What am I gonna say? If you are in my shoes, attorney, what are you gonna say?
Okay. And I've been asked several times now kasi nga, I've been also one of the legal consultants in the nursing community in the US. Ang sabi ko, retrogression is temporary. And retrogression is something that you don't control or your employers. Hindi talaga siya kontrolado ng lawyers, the employers, and so on. All you think you can do is to start the application. Correct? Kasi malay mo, next month, wala nang retrogression. So if you already have an application in place, then you will just immediately have an interview at the embassy. Kasi sa cases namin, sa law firm namin, pag kunwari nawala yung retrogression for 1 month, then hahabulin namin lahat ng due for interview nung month na yon. Right? So, ang sinasabi namin, especially for the nurses, is that if you already have NCLEX, look for an employer. The employer will file the application. Then, come what may, kung kailan matanggal yung retrogression mo o kung kailan magiging current yung application mo. Kasi walang talaga hindi mo kontrolado yun eh. For the time being, find work somewhere else. So in her case, nasa Saudi siya, or babay ka sa Australia, or magtatrabaho ka sa Canada, and so on. Because your ultimate goal is to work in the US. So yun yung advice namin doon sa mga nurses in particular.
Okay. Now, on a different note, attorney, with everything that's going on in your life right now, left and right, like I said, you have achieved so much in multiple domains. Would you consider yourself successful?
Success kasi depends on how you define success, right? Kasi kung kunwari, ang definition mo of success is may pera, hindi ka na gigising ka na hindi mo po problema yung pera mo, or kung ano man, you've been recognized in the community, then I would consider myself successful, right? But again, success depends on where you wanna measure it. For me, I would consider my biggest success story is nung pinramis ko sa parents ko, kasi I really see them, especially my mom, suffer. Sabi ko sa kanya, Ma'am, gagraduate lang ako, ayaw ko nang makita kang mamroblema ng pera. And until she died in 2018, I think after I started working, she never had a problem with money. Okay na sa akin na maubusan ako ng panggas. Okay na sa akin na hindi ko maabot yung pangarap ko. For as long as my parents hindi na mo problema ng pera, I think I achieved that. Pinag-aral ko yung kapatid ko, yung tulungan ko yung pamilya ko, that I would consider my biggest success story. Right? On the other hand, if you're gonna again, sinabi ko kanina, if you're gonna measure about, oh, may pera ka na ngayon, or kilala ka na sa some sectors of, I achieved that. But do I consider that as my biggest success story? I don't think so. So for me, I'm successful in my own rights, knowing where I come from, and I've been very grateful of what I become today.
Yes, attorney. And I mean, your kind of reasoning, you always have that positivity. You always make sure that whenever you are, you really make a significant contribution, and that really makes a huge difference. Now, Attorney Nick Caraquel, what is your greatest fear?
Greatest fear. Honestly, sa ngayon at this stage, wala na. And this I have to, the first time I would say in public, I had my 2 heart attacks in 2017 and 2019. Okay? 2017, even though this is, again, I've been very prayerful and so on. In 2017, siguro kung tinanong mo ako in 2017, my biggest fear is if I died in 2017, who will take care of my parents at the time? Because I took care of my parents on top of my other family members, right? So I remember during the heart attack, I was in the province. The nearest clinic is 30 minutes away from. Lumabas, ma'am, yung Facebook ko sa harap ko, electronically speaking. So, ganito kalaki yung Facebook sa harap ko. And then it keeps scrolling in front of me. Ang nababasa ko lang is rest in peace ni Caraquel, RIP ni Caraquel, and so on. And very quickly, nag-flashback lahat yung buhay ko. Parang very quick lang yun. And then na-emphasize yung what I have acquired, what I have accomplished, and so on. But none of those kaya kong dalhin. So, parang sinabi ko, Lord, what am I going to do now, right? Because I only have 2 minutes to stay. Kung talagang time ko na ngayon, time ko na ngayon. And then, ang prayer lang na lumabas sa utak ko noon was, Lord, just use me as an instrument for fairness and that people feel that you exist. Nawala agad yan. The next thing I know, nasa clinic na ako na yung lugar namin. And they were trying to help me and so on and so forth. The second incident in 2019, when I had the massive heart attack, and I really thought that was my time, namatay na yung nanay ko nung time na yun. And I was so ready na, I think, Lord, I've done my purpose. And if this is my time, pag dinala ko doon sa operating room at nakita ko yung nanay ko, yun na yun. Ang tanggap ko na yun. So, parang if you're gonna ask me ngayon what I would fear the most, I don't think I have fears for anything na. I am ready kung time na yon, but while hindi pa darating na yon, I'm still here and I will still gonna go on my advocacy on or focusing my efforts on helping people achieve their American dreams. And I always remind my staff to be to show, demonstrate the values that we have here, right? And we work for fairness. In terms of one of my reasons then naging lawyer ako. At the time, Nestle paid 20,000 for my green card application and for my initial L1 visa. And sinabi ko na, I don't think a normal Filipino would be able to afford paying 20,000 for a lawyer at the time. And that was in 2007, right? But I also understand that Nestle is using a very big immigration firm na hindi naman mura talaga ang immigration. So, I am proud to say na up to this time, kung ipaprocess ko yung pinagdaanan ko, I think our fees is not even half of what we paid in 2007, right? I'm not saying that we are not going to increase, right? Kasi it depends yun. But our fees are reasonable. And I think that's what I meant by being fair in terms of our practice.
Yes. And when you want to get really honest and comforting at the same time, like I said, straightforward advice, it would always be with Attorney Nick Caraquel. As a matter of fact, I was also one of his products. Because when I was here, I actually, consulted him. I asked wisdom from him. And then he was honest and pretty straightforward enough to tell me, kung hindi ka papasa ng NCLEX, wala kang future dito. Kaya kumuha ka ng NCLEX, yun lang ang focus mo. We want to celebrate you, attorney. We want to celebrate you. Now we are green card holders here in the US, and you were part of it. That's why if somebody would ask, because I'm petitioned by the employer, so everything was processed by the employer. So if there's somebody that I would really recommend, and I would always say this, it's Attorney Nicolas Caraquel. Kasi lahat ng sasabihin niya, it's something that you don't want to hear, but it's going to be very useful in your future plans, living and working abroad, in the US particularly. In one statement, or I don't know, but is there one piece of actionable advice would you give to our colleagues and to all who are watching and listening to this show? Just to wrap it up.
People say na pulubi lang kami, and so on and so forth, right? And people get discouraged about nung time na yun na nag-post ako, I actually received a lot of messages saying, Nick, thank you for sharing your story kasi they are about to commit suicide at the time. Kasi they felt hopeless na wala nang pag-asa sa buhay and all that. And then they read my story na posible pala yun. Correct? Ang sasabihin ko lang is for people who are struggling, right? When you wake up in the morning and pinaka-problema mo is wala kang pagkain and so on. That's poor for me, correct? But continue to find ways to improve. Don't settle for where you are. You will encounter a lot of no's in this world, but find your way out. And if you will become honest enough to tell the people around you kung anong sitwasyon mo, there are also other people who are willing to help you. Ang mahirap kasi, pag nagpipretend ka, then people will no longer be able to really help, especially with the social media, no? Ang taming avenues to give help. Just be truthful in kung sino ka, and then kung ano ka, and then of course prayers, right? Without prayers, mahirap din kasi wala kang asahan eh. And then hard work talaga. There's no replacement for hard work. Mahirap ang journey mo, but for as long as you're focused on what you would want to achieve, it may be long, but you will be there someday. Start with an ambition though, because your ambition will drive you to do everything to reach to that goal. Kasi wala kang ambition, wala rin. Just go with the flow ka lang.
Okay, that's truly inspiring. Before we go, where can our listeners find out more about you and your ventures, attorney?
Okay, so mas mabilis akong makontak through social media. So, ang Facebook ko is Nick Caraquel. But if people would want to inquire, I would rather invite them to send a message to iDream staff. So, sa Facebook din yun. At least, mas maraming nakakabasa nun. But you could still send it to me, Nick Caraquel. Or just call our New York office, 917-832-7414. Or our website, idreamamerica.com. So, yun lang yung the best way to reach out to me para mas mabilis.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Attorney Nick Caraquel. It's been a pleasure learning about your journey and hearing your insights. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Stay tuned for more inspiring stories like this.
Thank you for listening to Linguist Access Podcast. Please give us a review on iTunes. Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next episode.